I don't know about you, but my Etsy shop is dead. I've had Etsy since 2015. For a while, it was the only thing I pushed. And then in 2018, I started my website and I started pushing people there and kind of let my Etsy fall off. But then 2 years ago, I stopped selling physical products and my Etsy shop just became completely passive. Didn't even think about it, didn't really do anything with it. And it's really suffering because of it. So I either need to just accept that it's gonna be completely passive, and if I make $30 a month, I make $30 a month. On the other hand, I think that if I work at it, there is potential there to make more money, and I'd prefer my passive income there to be more like $100 or $200 a month versus $30 a month. So that was my goal for this week, is to create a plan for Etsy and then to start working on some things that I could. I hope to at least make a follow-up to this video in a couple weeks or a month to show the progress or to show what else I've been working on, see if there's any results. But in this video, we're just gonna start the building blocks of reviving my Etsy shop. So no results will be in this one. I just wanted to give a fair warning there. From what I've heard from other designers who are doing well is that being consistent or being more active every day is better than posting once and then not for another week. That's pretty standard with everything these days, is Pinterest, Instagram, YouTube. Everything wants some sort of consistency and routine. So my plan here is to go through my newer designs and figure out which ones I should add to Etsy, make new listing photos for new designs, update older listings with my new photo template, go through my analytics and kind of see, am I getting views, am I getting low conversion, update my tags and titles with better keywords and do some research on keywords, and I want to create new designs. So that is kind of my rough game plan for reviving my Etsy shop. Yeah, I have no idea how long this will take, if there will be any results or anything like that, but that is my game plan. So the goal for today is to get as many listing photo cover images that I can make. So I'm gonna make all the main images and then the mock-ups all in Illustrator. I've talked about this before and kind of shown how I do it in a video. I will find it and link it. That's the game plan for today. If I feel motivated and get around to it, then I will potentially make all the files for it. So like right now for Cricut, I only need to upload SVGs. So I haven't really been exporting all the other file types, just the SVGs, you know? I may get around to that today. If not, that'll be a task for tomorrow. Probably put them all into one folder so I can just go from that folder and not have to dig around for everything. Okay, so here is the template I made in Illustrator. I originally had this in Photoshop, but I just converted this and remade it in Illustrator. So then I can just duplicate this artboard multiple times and not have to save each layer individually. I can just rename each artboard with the file name and then export everything all at once. So that is my game plan here. So I'm getting a little tired of doing this, but that was to be expected. I kind of just have not that much energy this week, which is normal and fine and whatever. But I'm gonna pull out the walking pad and see if I can at least do just another 30 minutes of walking and working. When you get behind like this for well over a year, it becomes a very exhausting process to catch back up. And I'm just going through this like wondering, okay, how do I stay on top of this and not let this pile up every few months? So just trying to think through some processes and see if there's any ways I can make things easier for myself. At the beginning of the year, I did come up with one thing that I thought would work, but I haven't been exporting the files. So long story short, that's not really working for me. It's good in theory, but it's not working in practice. Okay, so I have this coloring book that I started and never finished, Story of My Life. I think a lot of these are pretty solid coloring pages, so I'm gonna make these into things I can upload on Etsy as well. And maybe someday I will just make a digital coloring book. So I got a good amount of main photos made. Now I'm going through my files and making the actual like zip folders or getting all the files together that I need. I'm also going through Etsy right now, and anything that has auto renew on but no sales, I'm changing back to manual, and I'll just renew those if they start picking up. I'm noticing that I have a good amount that are auto renewed that haven't sold at all, and they've renewed 3 or 4 times. So I'd rather save that money for new listings or renewing ones that are actually selling. What I'm noticing is I do have a bunch of printable greeting cards that I thought would do well, but honestly, I don't even think any of my printable cards have sold. I might just let them expire, just not even put those on Etsy. I have a lot of things that have been renewing over and over without any sales. So hopefully by doing this, it'll save some money. I need to make note of the things that are actually selling currently and kind of see if there's overall themes or product types that are renewing. I don't know, I have a lot of stuff here that I would think would be selling, but it's not. Bummer. Looking at my all-time stats, all of my coloring pages except for one of them have sold at least one time. Maybe coloring pages just do better for me? I don't know. So I have a good amount of coloring pages I can add to Etsy. The gears are kind of turning a little bit. Coloring pages for sure need to be added, SVGs obviously, but SVGs are just so hit or miss for me if I want to add them to Etsy. Obviously it would make sense because I have a lot of SVGs, so it would make sense to add them. I also have this holiday bingo card that did well, and I think over 6 years old, so I could probably make a new version of it and then also maybe make some other themes as well, potentially. We'll see. I just thought of an idea. So I know that Etsy is promoting, well, I feel like Etsy pushes the listings that do have videos up a little bit more. And since I am on a coloring kick, I might as well take very quick videos of me coloring the pages and add that to the listing. Oh my gosh, you guys, I just found another AI file that has coloring pages that I never turned into coloring pages, but they're all ready to go. Why do I do this? I am gonna do a little bit of research on Etsy right now to see what coloring page tags to use. And the way I'm gonna do this is I'm literally just gonna search and see what keywords are in titles. And sometimes you can see the tags on some products. I don't have any like Etsy extension things to pay for, FRB, whatever that is. So I'm just gonna see if I can compile a list together and go from there, I guess. Unfortunately, but also maybe not unfortunate, I go down rabbit holes of wanting to make all these things once I start looking at Etsy more. And now I'm just like getting idea after idea when really I need to get the stuff I have done up on Etsy first. But you know, it's just the way my brain works. Okay, so I've got 15 pages in drafts right now, making a little bit of progress. As I was going through listings, I realized I probably have some designs I could make, some coloring pages. So I'm going back through these to see if there's anything that can be turned into coloring pages. Okay, so yesterday I kind of went down a rabbit hole and I started designing a bunch of random stuff. So I did get all of the SVG coloring pages done. So I can export those and do the listing photos for those today. I think what I'm gonna do for Etsy is do, and probably my website too, if I'm making the cover photo, I might as well just keep it the same. What I was noticing is Etsy has like a profit calculator now on their listings. Okay, so if you have a $1 listing, you'll make 45 cents according to Etsy's calculator. But if you have a $2.25 listing, you'll make $1.25. $1.59. And 45 cents times 3 would be $1.35. So I just need to make more than $1.35 to make that actually be a better deal. I think it's because you have like the 20-cent listing fee no matter what the price is. You make actually more money if you list it at $2.25 for 3 coloring pages. So it's a discount for the buyer, but it's also you getting more money than 3 individual listings. I'm actually kind of debating if I go through the ones that I've already drafted and make those sets of 3s instead. So I wish I would have thought of that before listing these, or realized the pricing calculator thing was there and just done that from the beginning, but you know, it is what it is. So I'm gonna be making the listing photos, drafting coloring pages, and then I'm also working on some like reading printables. So I might get around to that today. A lot of this stuff is super draining for me because it just is, I don't know what it is about this stuff, but it's exhausting for me. So I don't want to say that I'm going to be able to do a lot of stuff because I probably won't. Another thing I did yesterday was I kind of ran an audit on my actual sales for the last year. Most of my sales are for non-SVG products, so maybe it'd be a waste of time to add my SVGs. I gotta think more about that, and maybe it's fine if I lean the printable route. Also, I know I'm probably going off of the schedule or the goals that I had made for myself. I'm not gonna get to it all this week, that's for sure. I didn't expect to get through everything in this video, but at least to get a head start and to start thinking about it and to start making Etsy a priority again, and just how am I gonna actually do this has been good for me to think through. I'm currently also working on some reading printables. I will pull those up and show you kind of what I'm thinking. I got into reading last year pretty big and then carried on into this year, and I realized why not make some reading printables. My goal here for these is they would be good to be able to print them off or to be able to use them digitally. So you could just insert the book cover on your iPad or something. Here's my thing. I'm starting to get interested in doing a reading journal, but the last time I did a reading journal, I didn't really keep up with it. Here's what I started with last year is I just wanted to write down the book I read, my rating, and if it was a physical book, a Kindle, or audiobook. And I didn't end up keeping up with this. Like at one point you can see I just had to do all of these all at one time just so I could say that I finished it. And then even over here I didn't have enough room for all of the stickers and whatnot. And so I wanted to have my stats to know how many 5-star ratings, blah, 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 types of books, if it was audio, physical, or Kindle. And then I thought, oh, maybe I can use this journal because instead of buying something new, I'll just use what I already have. And this is a good size for a journal anyways. I'll just use this for my reading journal. And then I don't know if you can see this, but it says 2024 and there's nothing here. I haven't touched this. I don't know. The idea of a reading journal seems fun, but also a lot of work. So then I was like, well, maybe I can just, while I'm thinking of this, make some printables that I could either use myself or to start getting in the mindset of, do I actually want to keep up with a reading journal? Like this could be an easier way for me to test that theory. So that's what we're doing. I will flip you around to show you what I've made so far. So here is a reading challenge. You could print this off in either color or black and white, and then you would put the cover of the book on top of it. If I wanted to do it a little bit more spread out, I could do 2 pages maybe, but one thing at a time. A popular thing that people do is 24 books in 2024, and so I figured, well, let me get ahead. So I'm trying to come up with 25 books to read in 2025. So you could do your own version of it, like write it down, or you could take this one that's already made. And then I also have another version of that right here where you kind of color in each one and you write down each book as you do it. So it's just kind of a fun way to take the same concept but make it a little bit more interesting. And I figured the colored version's fun, but if you wanted to use your own colors and whatnot, you could do it over here. You could even color code it by 5-star and 4-star reads. That's what I've got so far. I just went to Scooters and got my coffee for the week. I saw that they're starting to get their fall menu out, but the one that I loved last year wasn't online for ordering. And then I saw it when I was there and I was like, oh shoot, I should just order this in person. But I like doing the online ordering now a little bit better so that I don't have to worry about getting everything out. Got the coffee. Hopefully today will be a good day. At the very least, I got some coloring pages listing photos ready to go, and now I just gotta upload those, but I'm feeling good. I know it doesn't seem like I've done a lot this week, but I'm feeling pretty good about everything because I just haven't even really thought about Etsy all year. I'm pretty happy with the fact that I've been doing a little bit of stuff here and there. Obviously, I would like to be able to be someone who can focus down and get it all done, but yeah. One of the other things I want to do is finish doing like an audit of my Etsy. So I want to make a list of things that need to be uploaded, things that need to be updated, things that need to be deleted. Why is my sister calling me? I gotta go. Here's what I'm currently working on, is coming up with a master spreadsheet of all of my digital designs. I've done this in the past before, but I think I need to figure out how to condense it, and this is what we're starting with. At least for coloring pages and printables, I'm gonna start this way. So then if I wanted to, I can just clear this and then see which ones need to be uploaded for Shopify, upload those, and then for Etsy, do the same thing. That'll be an easy way to kind of update those and stay on top of it. I am gonna pull out the treadmill again and do a little bit of walking and working. I'm trying to burn off the coffee that I had. I don't know if I'm getting anything done. I feel like I'm all over the place and starting a bunch of stuff, which is very typical of me. I guess progress is better than nothing, and at least thinking about what needs to be done is better than just ignoring it altogether. I don't know if it's worth the effort, and that's a big part of my struggle, is I feel like I'm just wasting my time. If you are someone who is trying to revive your Etsy shop, I'd love to know what steps you're taking and maybe what else I can work on. Going through my titles and tags is definitely something that needs to be done. I'd rather have content to put out than stalling on the little details like that when that's something I can do later on. The more I think about this, the more I'm like, okay, but what about my website? How am I gonna get people to my website as well? And I'm thinking about Pinterest, and it's like this one project is making me spiral and think about all this stuff. And I had such a bad headache yesterday because I just had so many thoughts going on in my head, and they were so loud and just going in so many different directions, and I need to just chill and tackle one thing at a time. I figured I'd give a quick update. I did export and make the listing photos for some of those reading challenges that I was making. Here's another one. So my goal here with this one is that it can be a reading challenge, and like I was thinking you could put your star rating right here if you wanted to do that. Or you know what, it could just be things you want to do, like 25 bucket list type of thing. So I like that I didn't make this super specific to reading, and I do kind of like the idea of making this like a bucket list type of challenge. So maybe I'll do two versions for myself personally. This one's super simple. These are the TBR cards, which I want to do for myself. So I'm already planning on doing this for my TBR for next month. So I think that'll make things fun. And then I finally finished this one, and you will not believe how many books there are here. 100 exactly. If I did the math correctly and I counted everything right, there are 100 books here, and I did not even mean for that. Like I was hoping it'd be a cool number, like not just 87 or something, like I could get it to 90, 95, whatever. I think this turned out really good. I need to print this and see if you can actually write, but I'm excited to kind of have something physical for myself like this that I can look instead of being like, oh, what should I read? But I left this open right here so that you can write your rating tracker. So if you wanted to rate it, like give it a 5 or 4 star, you can have it color coded and you can know, and then you'll also know which ones you've done. So I figured that would make sense. Or you can write whatever you want, start date, end date, whatever info you want to put there. I still gotta go through and make SKUs. I gotta determine if that's worth the effort or not. As I get more and more coloring page bundles, it might get harder to know what is what. If I were to give them a SKU name, I would also put that in the folder name so it can stay organized and I know what I'm talking about when I'm referencing it. So I just learned something really cool. So I'm gonna do a printable that is a habit tracker, and then I'm gonna copy the formula, and look, it makes the SKU. So it's taking the first 2 letters of this column, the category column, and then it's looking it up here and seeing the acronym I give here, which is basically 2 letters for the most part, and then it's adding a number at the end. So the only thing I have to still figure out is how to make the numbers completely unique, whereas right now I have to just go in and manually change this end number. So I've got that going for me if I want it. I don't know if I need it though. Kendra, if you are watching, this is 100% because of you. I thought, oh, maybe this will make me more organized, and now I don't know if it's just a waste of time. Digital products, there's just so many of them, so I don't know. I learned how to do it. Will I actually use it? Who knows? At least I figured it out and I have something there if I want to use it. So to kind of sum up everything I did this week, I drafted over 30 listings. About 8 or 9 of those have already been published. I went through and turned off the automatic renewal for things that have been renewed a handful of times that hadn't sold anything. Hi, Oliver. 9, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. I also made over 70 listing photos for SVGs, but then I decided I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to add SVGs to Etsy because statistically speaking, they haven't really sold well for me. So I'm kind of tossing that up in the air right now, but I have all those listing photos made and ready to upload. So I feel like I've made a good amount of progress this week. It's very draining and exhausting to do the same thing over and over. So I did make new products too though. So I made okay, I'm coming out. I made at least 5 new products, but I also made a lot of coloring pages from designs I've already made. So I definitely did a lot of stuff here this week. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have an Etsy shop that you are either doing really successful with, I'd love to hear your pointers. But if you're also in the same boat where you're trying to revive your Etsy shop, I'd love to see like what steps you're taking and see if we can just help each other out there. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I will see you next time. Bye. Hello, Oliver. Oh, and Tate. Hi. Hi, guys. I'm so sorry I had the door closed. Yes, I love you.